Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to Believer Science Academy, Bengaluru. This is the daily news analysis. Today, that is 2nd August 2025, we will discuss some important articles important from prelims, mains as well as interview. So the first article for the day is from the Hindu, Indian Express and most of the newspapers have covered this one. That is Shanghai Cooperation or Cooperation Organization highlights. Recently, there was a summit in Tianjin, China. So many of the important dignitaries attended this, including Prime Minister Modi. So we'll discuss what are the key highlights. I will be sticking to only the news articles, but I will be bringing another topic of the day article or video where I will discuss SEO in a holistic way. Now, so it is relevant from UPSC GS2 International Relations, GS3 Internal Security, because there is a discussion about cross-border terrorism as well. So the key significant outcomes are condemnation of terrorism, very important. 10-member SEO strongly condemned terrorism in all forms. Specified mention was Palgam attack and Jafar Express and Kuzdar attacks in Pakistan as well. So they called for end to cross-border movement of terrorists, reaffirmed commitment to fight terrorism, separatism and extremism. So you can say this is a diplomatic victory for India. So because most of the times whenever a terrorist attack happens in India, which was caused by Pakistan, they were not spoken in a strong way. Here they have mentioned it, so we can say it is a diplomatic victory for India. Next, there were talks about opposition to unilateralism as well. Members opposed to unilateral coercive measures, they were indirectly talking about Donald Trump, especially of an economic nature, hinting at US sanctions or tariffs. Xi Jinping criticized Cold War mentality and bullying behavior in the world order. So they were directly pointing at USA under Trump. Next, global governance and multilateralism. Xi proposed global governance initiative, which is about sovereign equality, rule of law, multilateralism, people-centric approach, and focus on real actions. SEO stressed on role of United Nations and multilateralism in global governance. So they want to bring world into multipolar world where most of the stakeholders have a say. Stakeholders have a say or have voice in the proceedings. Next, institutional developments. Decision to merge observer and dialogue partner status into one partner country. Okay, so there were 10 members and 17 partners or observers. Now Laos accepted as a partner, so expanding the SEO strength to 27. There is 10 members and 17 partners. Instead of observer status, now they are called as 17 partners. Next, agreement to establish SEO Development Bank, a long-standing Chinese ambition, very important. Next, geopolitical positions. Israel-Gaza conflict. The summit expressed deep concern, condemned civilian casualties. Next, strikes on Iran by Israel and USA. SEO, including India, strongly condemned the attacks of Israel and USA, which is a major shift in geopolitical trends from Indian perspective. Who are these? Israel and USA are the strong beneficiaries or the strong partners of India in the recent times. So now they are talking about or against these two countries. Though it is subtle, it very signifies a change in geopolitical angle for India. Next, Belt and Road Initiative. All members supported except India. So despite this, India still stuck to its roots because Belt and Road Initiative, where one part, that is CPEC, that is China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, passes through Pakistan occupied Kashmir, which is undermining the sovereignty of India. So India said India is always opposite of this Belt and Road Initiative, especially for this particular part. Next, Chinese commitments. They pledged 2 billion in grants to SEO members and 10 billion loans to SEO Interbank Consortium over the 3 years and push to establish a SEO development bank quickly. Okay. Next, strategic significance for India. The positives here: the condemnation of cross-border terrorism, which is India's core concern, inclusion of Pakistan in same declaration on terrorism, SEO condemning US and Israel's attacks on Iran, aligns with India's interest in strategic autonomy. Challenges: India isolated on BRI, continues to oppose due to sovereignty issues. SEO leaning towards China's leadership, which is a good in a particular way, but bad from Indian perspective. Balancing act: supporting Iran while maintaining the ties with Israel and US becomes important for India. Okay, we have to wait and see. Next, a very unfortunate event, that is Afghanistan earthquake. So recently there was an earthquake in Afghanistan, which was around 6.0 magnitude earthquake, which struck 27 kilometers from Jalalabad, which resulted in 800 people dying and 2,800 plus injured. So provinces affected were Kunar, Nagarnar, Lagman, and two others, and occurred just before midnight when the families were asleep, which makes it very disturbing. Next, aftershocks caused further collapse as well. Next, humanitarian impact was low-rise mud brick homes collapsed easily, high casualties were there, and in Kunar alone, 800 people are dead and 2,500 injured. So the toll is expected to rise again. Rescue challenges are many villages are inaccessible because the roads have been damaged, and residents digging with bare hands, which is a very inhuman thing or unfortunate event to see, and evacuation by helicopter in Jalalabad to hospitals are on the way. Victims include returnees from Iran and Pakistan struggling to rebuild their lives. So again, a very difficult situation at the moment. The Afghanistan is already going through so many things. This is again another issue. Next, this is compounding the misery of Afghanistan as well. Global and diplomatic response: Taliban government leading the massive risk operations. United Nations Secretary General Guterres expressed solidarity, and Pope Leo XIV of Vatican expressed grief in this one. International humanitarian agencies are warning of worsening crisis. So we have to wait and see. We have to wait for India to act on this one, because whenever there is a disasters, whenever there is a humanitarian crisis in the neighboring countries, not even the neighboring countries or the countries around the world, India is the first country to hop in and help. So we have to wait and see what India will be doing in this one. Because when the earthquake hit Turkey, India started operation called as Operation Dost for humanitarian support to Turkey. But what happened? Turkey backstabbed India by supporting Pakistan over the Pahalgam issue. That is another issue, but we have to wait and see what India will do this in this case. Background and context: Afghanistan lies near Hindu Kush Range, Eurasian and Indian tectonic plate junction. So region is earthquake prone. There are 12 earthquakes of 7 magnitude since 1900. Vulnerability is amplified because of weaker infrastructure, poor healthcare system, and conflicted political instability limiting the preparedness. Next, just because we are talking about earthquakes, let us have a discussion about earthquakes. What is earthquake? In simple words, earthquake is the shaking of earth. That is seismic activity which are happening below the surface of earth. So in earthquake, there are two important points. One is hypocenter, another is epicenter. What is hypocenter? Hypocenter is the region inside the earth where the actual energy shock happens. When the actual energy shock happens, the waves transfer, and the closest point from the hypocenter to earth's surface is called as epicenter, and this is where most impact will be felt. Next, the reasons behind this release of energy. Reasons behind the earthquake is many. One is tectonic. In tectonic, that is faulting. What is faulting? The faulting happens when the plates moves. The plate moves in different ways. One is extension, that is tensional. They move away from each other. Tensional. This also releases energy, which will result in earthquakes. And second is compression. When they come together, which this is also releasing the energy, which will result in earthquakes. This also leads to fold mountains such as Himalayas. That is another thing. And there is transform mountains. When there is no direct impact, but they will be moving to along adjacent to each other. When they will be moving adjacent to each other, it will result in energy release as well. These things result in earthquakes. Another is volcanic. That is whenever the volcano happens around a region, this volcanic shock waves result in earthquakes as well. There is a stress built up by volcanoes. This stress results in earthquake as well. And then is human induced. How human induced? Whenever there is a heavy mining activities in a particular region, it results in earthquakes. Also, reservoir induced seismicity. That is because of reservoirs built by dams. These dams will result in extended pressure by the water stored here. This results in seismicity. That is what happened in Koina earthquake. So Koina reservoir is there. It resulted in Koina earthquake. Next, types of earthquakes. Okay, types of earthquakes. These earthquakes are divided based on the depth of their hypocenter. From at what distance from the surface of the earth are they? So one is shallow. That is the distance is between 0 to 70 kilometers. This is shallow. And then is intermediate. That is 70 to 300 kilometers is the intermediate distance. And deep earthquakes are 300 to 700 kilometers. Okay, from the surface. These are called as deep earthquakes. These deep earthquakes are normally found in Banach zone. What is Banach zone? Banach zone is a place which is found at the subduction of two plates. The heavier plate subducts under and the lighter plate moves up. So this is what? This is the heavier plate. This is lighter plate. When the heavier plate goes inside below the another one, this is called a subduction zone, and this subduction zone creates a Banach zone where energy starts releasing. Okay, this is called as Banach zone. Okay, very important. In these Banach zones, normally we we find deep earthquakes. Okay, so the measurement of earthquakes is done by the measuring of seismic waves. The seismic waves are divided into two types. One is direct or the body waves. These are so the waves which are coming from center of the earth to the center of the earth to surface of the earth are called as body waves. These are two types. One is P waves and S waves. No need to go into discussion. And second is surface wave. Once these body waves hit the surface, it will result in surface waves. The move horizontally along the surface of the earth. Those are called as surface waves. Two types of surface waves are there: L waves and Rayleigh waves. Next is the measurement. Measurement are done in two scales. One is Richter scale, which measures the magnitude, which is a logarithmic scale from 0 to 10, meaning from 0 to 1 there is a 10 times increment. From 1 to 10 there is another 10 times increment. So similarly it goes on increasing. So currently 6 magnitude was the earthquake that hit Afghanistan. So one of the highest magnitude earthquake which happened in the recent past was in 2004 tsunami, which was around 8.9 magnitude, which happened in the Indian Ocean, which resulted in more than 2 lakh people dying from the earthquake as well as subsequent tsunami. Next is Mercalli scale. What is the scale? It is the scale between 1 to 12. It measures intensity. What is intensity? It is not the magnitude. Don't confuse the magnitude. Intensity is what was the impact of the particular earthquake, how many people died, etc., etc. So there can be discrepancies between the magnitude or Richter scale as well as Mercalli scale. For example, in Japan, even if the Richter scale points to 7 or 8, the Mercalli scale only points to 1 or 2, because their preparedness is high. For example, if you consider India, if the earthquake is around even 6 to 7, the Mercalli scale shows 4 to 5, 4 and 5. Why? Because the preparedness of India is very less, because larger population, more deaths. So this is about earthquakes. So a very short video, but we covered holistically. Next, going back to our news analysis again. Next, third article is Election Commission on Special Intensive Revision of Bihar. So it is again a recent burning issue. So recently there was an announcement made by Election Commission of India. That is, Election Commission clarified that claims for inclusion or deletion in electoral rolls will be accepted till the last date of nominations as per para 12A2 of SIR June Order 2024. Not necessary to remember all these things, but these late claims post September 30 final roll will be treated as separate additions to these rolls. Okay, Supreme Court intervened in this action. So the Supreme Court said that SC had asked Election Commission to accept Aadhaar or any other 11 listed documents for voter inclusion, so that there is no disenfranchisement of voters in India, so that the right to vote is not taken away. Election Commission assured court that it would accept revision forms even after the deadline as well. So the deadline was actually set to August. Now the deadline has been increased. Data highlights the draft electoral rolls, which was on August 1, 2025, that there was 7.24 crore electors, which were a reduction of 65 lakh from July list. Applications received 37,000 for re-inclusion of names, 2,70,000 exclusion of names, and 16,56,000 new 18-year-old voters applied for this one. Next, document submission, 99.5 complaints was there, that is 7.2 crore electors. Notice issued for 3 lakh people for incomplete documentation. Next, the procedure and legal safeguards is important. That is, electoral returning officer powers. That is, scrutinizes claims, conducts suo motu inquiry into this, and issues notice for incomplete or false inquiries or entries. Speaking order is mandatory when excluding a voter. It ensures decisions are reasoned, transparent, and legally defensible, preventing arbitrariness here. Because we are talking about the right to vote, though it is not a fundamental, it is very significant from a democracy such as India. Next, political and administrative significance, high scrutiny in Bihar, where voter lists are often contested, and a drop of 65 lakh names raises political insensitivity. As a result, the opposition are framing the government of India as a vote chore. Vote chore narrative has been on the rise in India at the moment. Emphasis on transparency, inclusion of youth, and prevention of bogus voters. So very simple article, but very significant article. Next, we'll move on to editorial. That is, noise pollution in India, a silent public health crisis. So it is important from GS1, geography, urbanization, GS2, governance and constitution, and also important from GS3 as well, disaster management, because noise pollution can be considered as a disaster. Next, the current situation is that decibel levels routinely exceed limits near schools, hospitals, and the residential zone. What is decibel? It is a measurement of sound. Okay, measurement of sound. WHO safe limit is that 50 decibels is A, during the day and 40 decibels is A during the night in silent zones. Indian cities like Delhi and Bengaluru often record 65 to 70 dBA. That is A. That is the A is the highest decibels which will amount to pollution. Impacts is on the public health. What? Because of the increasing not temperature, increasing sound or the decibel sounds, it will lead to mental stress, disturbed sleep, cardiovascular risks. You might have experienced this in Bengaluru because of the traffic. If you're near, like if you're staying anywhere near to traffic or the main roads, you will not get sleep throughout the night because of the traffic sound. Next, ecological. A 2025 University of Auckland study shows that bird communication and sleep patterns are disrupted after one night of noise. So it is not only impacting human beings, it is also impacting the other biodiversity such as birds. Next, institutional framework. Noise pollution regulation and control rules of 2000 is there for robust but poorly enforced. That is the case of India with all the rules. The rules are very robust, rules are very detailed, rules are very analytical, but the implementation is poor. Next, CPCB, that is Central Pollution Control Board's National Ambient Noise Monitoring Network of 2011, intended as real-time platform but largely passive database. Next, enforcement gaps. Faulty sensor replacement or placement, that is 25 to 30 feet high, which is against CPCB 2025 norms or 2050 norms. Poor accountability, that is fragmented between state pollution control boards, police and municipalities, and right to information requests are often unanswered. So these are the issues. And the constitutional legal dimensions of this is that under Article 21 we have right to life and personal liberty. That is right to live with dignity includes environmental well-being as well. So noise pollution is destroying our environmental well-being. So indirectly it is destroying our Article 21, violating Article 21. Article 48A, it is a duty of the state to protect environment. It is a DPSP which directs the state to protect the environment. So here also there is a delay from the action of the state. Next, Supreme Court judgment. Noise pollution versus in re 2005 case recognized urban noise as a threat to mental well-being. Most of the people, even I didn't know about this particular case. Noise pollution in re 2005. Next, reaffirmed in 2024, linking excessive noise to violation of fundamental rights as well. Next, the global contrast is, in the global contrast, so in Europe, annual cost of urban noise is around 100 billion. Data-driven reforms, redesign of speed zones and zoning laws are happening in Europe. But whereas in India, regulatory fragmentation is there, no national acoustic policy, and also weak grievance redressal and enforcement mechanisms. Next, structure and cultural issues, that is urban drivers, that is infrastructure expansion, late night construction and traffic, civic fatigue, that is noise normalized, honking, drilling and loudspeakers even when there is a heavy traffic. Next, politics of silence, invisibility of noise as a pollution, no visible residue is there. So what should be the way forward? We have to bring policy reforms, we have to bring institutional action. So policy reforms is, there should be national acoustic policy such as national ambient air quality standards for air. Similar to national ambient air qualities standards present for air, we should also bring national acoustic standards which will focus on sound limits. Define decibel levels, mandate audits, empower local enforcement. Next, institutional action, that is decentralize NANMN, that is local bodies to use real-time data. Next, link monitoring to penalties and zoning enforcement. And cultural shift is, we should focus on providing public awareness that noise pollution is not just a norm, it is a disaster. That is focusing on sonic empathy, a very important keyword, sonic empathy. There should be empathy and sound as well. No need of honking when it is not necessary. When the traffic is there, when the signal are there, what is the use of honking so much? Okay. Next, urban planning. Also, we should bring behavioral change. That is no honking day for sustained programs. Okay. Urban planning. Embed acoustic resilience or quiet zones or green buffers. Okay. So that people can go there and enjoy a peace without any sounds. Next, previous pointers. Purchasing Managers Index. What is Purchasing Manager Index? And it is in news because India's Manufacturing Index rise to 59.3, which is a 17-year high. It was driven by strong domestic demand, production growth, etc., etc. So what is PMI? The Purchasing Managers Index. It is the full form. Purchasing Managers Index is an economic indicator derived from monthly surveys of private sector companies. It reflects prevailing direction of economic trends in manufacturing and services. Purchasing Manufacturing Index is published separately for manufacturing PMI and servicing PMIs. Very important. Presently, we are talking about manufacturing PMIs. Next, in India, PMI data is released by HSBC and compiled by S&P Global. These are two rating agencies. Rating agencies. What are rating agencies? I will bring a separate video because I've been thinking about doing a video about rating agencies because they are always in news. So wait for that video. Next, how is it measured? That is, PMI is based on 5 major indicators. Any index will be based on certain indicators. They will be weighted according to their significance. So here, new orders, how many new orders have been placed, output, the production, employment, how many people have been employed, supplier delivery times, and stock of purchases. All these things are weighted, and then the index is drawn. Index scale above 50% means that expansion in activity. Below 50% there is a contraction. Except 50% there is no change in the manufacturing. This one currently it is 59.3. What does it signify? It signifies there is expansion in manufacturing activities. So importance of PMI: helps in economic health parameter, provides early insight into the health of economy even before the official GDP data is released. Okay, it serves as a monitor into the future. Next, policy making. RBI tracks PMI trends for monetary policy decisions. Investor confidence guides investment sentiment in stock and bond markets. And business planning helps firms plan output, pricing, and hiring. The limitations are PMI covers only private sector firms, excluding public sector enterprises. Next, it is survey-based indicator reflecting perception, not actual output data. Short-term fluctuations can sometimes mask the long-term trends as well. So second previous pointer is Kachchatu dispute. I think there will be a shorts made out of this. We can look into that also, but just for the news analysis sake, I will explain this. So recently there was Sri Lanka president, that is Disanayake, visited Kachchatu Island, surprise visit of Kachchatu in September 2025, asserted sovereignty over Kachchatu and surrounding areas. Message is that no external influence will be tolerated here. Why suddenly the move? It was because of a trigger. What is the trigger point? The actor Vijay, Thalapathy Vijay, who is a politician now, in Madurai rally demanded retrieval of Kachchatu. He said that Kachchatu should be brought back to India. It should be given to Tamilians. So as a result, it has sparked a political outrage. Next, we will discuss about what is Kachchatu. It is a small uninhabited, meaning there is no individual there, which is about 285 acres around the Park State. Location 60 kilometers of northeast of Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu, and 14.5 kilometers south of Delta Island of Sri Lanka. Known for annual St. Anthony's Church Festival, attended by both Indian and Sri Lankan fishermen. Historical background: in 1974 Indo-Sri Lankan Maritime Boundary Agreement, India recognized Kachchatu as Sri Lankan territory. It was part of India and Sri Lankan relations. There were a Tamil crisis happening between India and Sri Lanka, so India wanted to pacify Sri Lankans. So under Indira Gandhi's and Sirimavo Bandaranaike agreement, so Kachchatu was given to Sri Lanka and they recognized the sovereignty of Sri Lanka. In 1976 agreement, both countries agreed that their fishermen would not fish in each other's waters. Next, political controversy is that many Tamil Nadu leaders allege India's ceded territory without parliament approval. So if you want to cede any territory, there has to be parliamentary approval, there has to be Constitutional Amendment Act, similar to the first Amendment Act of India, first Constitutional Amendment Act of India, which resulted in ceding of Berubari territories to Bangladesh. If you want to cede territories, you have to provide amendment. This was not the case with respect to Tamil Nadu. So Tamil Nadu government's leaders often discuss this and often use this as a political gain for them. Next, the core issues are fishermen. So out of this, all India and Sri Lanka diplomacy or all Tamil Nadu and India controversy or Tamil Nadu Sri Lanka controversy, who are the sufferers? Sufferers were the fishermen of India. Tamil Nadu fishermen use bottom trawlers which are destructive and encroaching to Sri Lankan waters. They are often arrested by Sri Lankan Navy. Sri Lankan fishermen are still recovering from the decades of civil war, complain that Indian trawlers deplete marine resources near their coast, which will result in lesser fish catch for them. So impact is humanitarian issues because of arrest of Indian fishermen and imprisonment of Indian fishermen, and economic loss of livelihood to both fishermen, not just Indian or Sri Lanka fishermen, for both fishermen. Diplomatic recurring India and Sri Lanka tension because of this particular one island, which will result in Sri Lanka moving away from India and going towards the clutches of China, which is not recommended for India. Okay, so these are the articles which I want to discuss today. If you like the video, then please hit the like button, comment on it, and also share with your friends. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon so that you don't miss any notification. With this, I will end the video. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.